Hello, procrastinators. Shall we begin? Ripples on deep water. Trigger warning. Graphic depictions of violence, major character death, Pain and Minetta are shipped together, peer abuse, angst. This is a multi-chapter fic with just under 100k words, and this is chapter 2, Castle. Chapter summary. Izuku has had it with Katsuki. It's him versus the world, but he's making allies. Hi? Izuku had dialed the number on his phone with shaky hands the next day, but still determined. His fresh notebook was open and blank in front of him and waited with bated breath as the line was silent for a moment. Is this Stranger-kun? Uh-huh, Midoriya Izuku. You wrote on my arm. I totally thought it would take you longer. Or you give up! Good job! You want to learn how to make some babies? His heart stuttered to a stop. Oh, right. My dad just reminded me that not everyone talks like me. I call my inventions my babies. Izuku could breathe again. Maybe? I haven't really thought of making support items before. No problem, Midoriya-kun. Meet me after school Friday at that old trash beach, and I can teach you a bit. We're gonna be great friends. Hatsume hung up on the still-flushed Izuku without warning, and he blinks at the notebook. Trash beach. She must mean Dagobah. Izuku opens the calendar and sets a reminder, half on autopilot. It was Thursday. He just had to survive today and tomorrow. He felt eyes on his back when he entered the school that day, new notebook in hand as he sketched Kamu Woods. For once, he felt a flare of defiance in his chest and turned to glare in the direction of the stairs to lock eyes with Kachan. Deku, what the fuck did you think you pulled? A moment passed in which he recalled his old friend's cruel words. To jump off a building. How he had considered it for a brief moment on the subway. The burn scars on his back, the still fresh one on his shoulder, the countless broken noses or cuts or twisted ankles. Friends don't do that to friends. I saved your ass, Katsuki. The thing about drowning is that if I didn't let you breathe, you would have died before All Might showed up. So shove your high horse up your ass and leave me the fuck alone. Katsuki stopped dead in his tracks, hands stilling completely as shook took over his features. Other students spectating took a visible step back. Katsuki had almost certainly been expecting a flood of apologies, tears, and probably ego-stroking as he beat Izuku up again. He turned on his heel and walked away before the inevitable explosion could reach him and into his class, taking in the view. Several students were snickering in the corner as they glanced over at Izuku. His eyes were only for his desk. A lone red spider lily sat on the wood, oblivious to the crisis it was causing in Izuku's mind. No. Red crept into the edge of his vision as he saw the teacher tactfully ignoring it, and he took his phone out of his pocket and discreetly started videotaping. He walked up to the teacher, holding the camera at an angle to catch his face. Obanayono, sensei? Someone put a red spider lily on my desk. The giggling grew louder, and he ignored it, looking to his teacher expectantly. Your classmates are probably just joking around, Midoriya. Go sit down before I give you detention. He angled his camera to the group of full-blown cackling students before twisting it at his desk again as he approached. Instead of sitting, Izuku snatched the flower up, exiting the classroom without another word. As soon as he was in the hall, Katsuki was upon him. Deku! He felt a harsh shove to the chest, back hitting the wall, and he grit his teeth when a fist balled up the front of his Gakugan. What the hell was going through your shitty head when you said that, huh? Izuku met Katsuki's eyes and narrowed his own. Speaking with as much venom as he could muster, he said, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm headed to the principal. Katsuki sneered. What'd you do now, shit nerd? Someone report you of being a worthless piece of shit? No. He raised the hand with the red spider lily in it. Someone put this on my desk, Katsuki. Lovely, isn't it? A very pretty color. The bully stared at the flower, shock flitting across his face. Then he released Izuku's shirt, snatched the flower, and exploded it between his palms with a sadistic sneer, dropping the ashes back into Izuku's hand. Who would even believe you, Deku? Not this school principal. But Izuku never stopped recording. He ended the video with a tap of his finger, glaring at his longtime bully, knowing he'd pay dearly for it later. "Nobody here," he said simply. Then he shoved Katsuki hard in the chest, sending the significantly taller boy stumbling back before heading back into the classroom, dropping the ash on the floor. When he got home, he was shaking like a leaf. Izuku had no idea where that rush of courage, or stupidity, definitely stupidity, came from, but he definitely paid the price. His hands were bloody with minor burns, and his wrist was sprained, both ankles twisted, and the backs of his legs bruised and cut nastily. His arms were peppered with burns, and Izuku was certain his back was the same. Tears came to his eyes, and he practically ran to the bathroom, shutting and locking the door as they came forth. Everyone hated him when he was weak, but they hated him more when he bit back. If you want to be a hero that badly, there's a quick way to do it. Believe that you'll be born with a quirk in your next life and take a dive off the roof. It's not bad to dream, but you also have to consider what's realistic. Tears flowed down in silence, the sobs shaking his aching shoulders as he dressed and bandaged the wounds with a practiced hand. He stretched his feet, knowing that they'll be sore in the days to come, and wrapped his wrist, hoping it heals fast. Everybody hates him because of a fucking pinky joint. A fucking joint in his toe that ruined his life. My dad doesn't read the future of every villain to win battles, kid. Meet me after school Friday at that old trash beach and I can teach you a bit. We're going to be great friends. He wiped his tears. If the world was against him, then he would fight harder. Maybe Hatsume would ditch him the moment she found out he was quirkless. But Eraser Head had looked him in the eye and it inadvertently rebuilt his dream. Izuku went to his room and silently thanked whatever divinity that was out there that it wasn't his dominant hand that was sprained, as he sketched the hero exactly as he had seen him. Exhaustedly leaning against the wall of the subway, his dark eyes holding some unnamed intensity. Directly under it, he wrote in small print, "Night Eye doesn't read the future of every villain to win battles." He felt like those words would stick with him for a long, long time. Izuku's eyes wandered around his room, a strange sort of hatred swelling in his chest as he saw a blinding smile everywhere. Never had ripping posters off a wall been so relieving. Friday couldn't come fast enough. The entire day had been filled with cruel words, but today he tried something a little different. He didn't even acknowledge Katsuki. If anything, that seemed to disturb the bully more than Izuku snapping back. He nods with no small measure of satisfaction. Of course, he gets tripped a lot and his possessions burned, but he made sure his notebook was hidden and he was safe, only exiting the building with a bruise on his shoulder. Dagobah wasn't far, and his sneakers collected sand in the soles as he walked down the stretch of the honestly disgusting beach. "Hi, Midoriya-kun!" Hatsume appeared from somewhere within a mound, in her arms a broken microwave. She threw that out into the sand next to him and then ducked down to grab something that looked suspiciously like a car engine and jogging over to a bewildered Izuku, her yellow eyes bright and manic. He notices the crosshairs. It must be part of her quirk. "Hi, Hatsume-chan." Hatsume grinned, dropping the engine next to the microwave. "Glad to see ya! Call me May! My quirk is zoom because I can look at things really far away. Helpful for little bits of machinery, so don't expect to get all the finer bits perfect like me when you're making your first baby." He tactfully ignores the word choice as he shuffles his feet. Might as well get it over with. "I'm quirkless." A beat. Then, "That's so cool, Midoriya-chan! Do you have any idea how rare that is these days? Most people just focus on things that would help their quirk, but you could look and think, what would help everyone?" He blinked. This was a dream, right? Her excited face told a different story. "I'm going to be a support designer, like Power Loader. I'll sell my support items to big heroes and make bank!" Izuku just stares, almost missing the next words. "What do you want to do, Midori-chan?" His foot scuffs the sand, kicking up a bit as he looked to them. "I'm going to be a hero. I think underground." Her eyes lit up even more. "Really? You need support items then. If you work with me and sell some support items to the underground community, I can hook you up with some of my babies for free!" Okay. Izuku nods, allowing a tiny smile. You can call me Izuku." May drags him to the trash piles, showing him which kinds of things were salvageable, her energy unobtainium as she made him help her drag an oven into the open. "You'll need to build up some muscles, Izuku," May says contemplatively. "You look like you've got a more sneaky body than a bulky one, but that can work." She spent the rest of the day sitting in the sand with him, taking simple machines apart and guiding him to put them back together. As the sun began to set, he smiled widely at the assembled, theoretically functional microwave, and May laughed, throwing her head back, and the dying sun glinted on her goggles. "Not bad, Izuku! Text if you want to do this again." She's off before he can respond, leaving Izuku to his thoughts. Maybe it wasn't the fact that he was quirkless that ruined his life. He drew a line in the sand while he mulled it over. Why did they treat him horribly? Eraserhead and Hatsume were fine with it. A bystander was the control, someone who had no idea he was quirkless. He spoke to them, and they talked cheerfully back. Telling people he was quirkless was the constant, the thing that didn't change. So what was the variable? What separated May from Katsuki? What made an entire school hate him, but May want to be his friend? He traced us and them in the sand, on either side of the line. What was the line? Where did it blur? What was the variable? Katsuki and the school and his mom, them. May and Eraserhead? Huh? And Izuku? Us. It's not bad to dream, but you also have to consider what's realistic. Everyone always agreed with All Might. He was one of them. The world was them. His fingers dig into the sand, falling and watching the grains fall through. It was Izuku against the world, really. So what if All Might was one of them? He'd just fight harder. Everyone pushed Izuku around constantly. It was about time he pushed back. If you're here for the last chapter, then you know that the author likes to have songs that represent each chapter. Last chapter, I believe it was Never Trust Your Heroes by AWOL. This chapter, it's Castle by Halsey. Halsey is one of their favorite singers, and according to them, the songs are bops. I can attest for Castle. Castle represents this chapter for one simple reason. I'm headed straight for the castle. They're going to make me their queen. And there's an old man sitting on the throne there saying that I probably shouldn't be so mean. Zuku's the narrator. He's going to be a great fucking hero, whether the old man, All Might, likes it or not. Alright, so that was the song for this one. Oh my gosh. You have no idea how much May's voice hurts. Because I do it like in the back of the throat. And I do it loud. Kind of like Toga's. But Toga, I try to be more high-pitched. While Hatsume, I'm just trying to be more brutal, if that makes sense. But yeah, that absolutely destroyed me. I'm at the park again. And this time I'm really close to the road. So if you hear a lot of cars, that's why. It's also kind of windy today. So you might hear some wind gusts here and there. I tried to cut out the parts that were mostly wind gusts, but I might have missed some. So sorry about that. Also, one more thing. So for this fic, each chapter is has like a song coded to it. And because of that, I'm wondering, would you guys rather me like actually sing the lyrics if there are, or would you rather just me say it like I have been for the past 2 chapters? I'm just scared of being copyrighted. So I think either way I'll be fine though. But yeah, let me know. Anyway, that's all from me. Good luck, procrastinators. Go get some shit done.